Hello, my gorgeous sister, and welcome to Goddess Resurrection, coming to you live from San Francisco. I didn't have time to pre-record, so here we are in the hotel room. Today's episode is on self-awareness, know thyself. And in this episode, we'll be diving into a few tools for you to really work with, because in order for you to be able to collapse patterns, in order for you to be able to consciously purge, in order for you to be able to work with your ascension, you have to know yourself. You have to pay attention to the energies, as subtle as can be. And I'm going to give some examples in order for you to actually identify them. You're like, oh, this energy, I know this energy. Let me work with it. Let me bring it to the surface, right? And it's not only recognizing the patterns that are not of your light, but also knowing that whatever is not of your highest, whatever is not of your light, whatever is not of your power, of your authenticity, that is all of that patterning, all of the energies that you need to learn to identify, you need to learn to become so aware of, right? Self-awareness deepens you continuously into your light alignment, right? And so in order for you to really bring yourself into your self-awareness, make sure that you breathe, make sure that you practice the conscious breath, make sure that you allow yourself this inner connection, because it's only in this inner connection that happens by you being present, right? And how will you be present? How can you be present? Well, it's when you are in your breath. It's when you are in the conscious breath. The conscious breath is everything. The conscious breath is your built-in tool. The conscious breath is the tool that you can never forget at home. It's not something that you can ever forget about. No, it's the magical built-in tool that is your breath. And as you follow the breath into your body, as you listen to your breath, and to feel your breath, you become more present. Whenever you are consciously breathing, you are self-aware, right? And so in this self-awareness is where the magic lies. It's in this self-awareness that you know yourself. You know your patterns. You know your ego voices. You know your fears, you know your shortcomings, you know your patterns that you are here to heal and illuminate now. You know yourself. And so to not just know yourself, which is the one level, right? Whatever insecurities, whatever jealousies, whatever ways in which you have gotten used to react, right? In terms of victim mentalities or pity parties, or getting frustrated with yourself that you're still reacting or still judging, right? To know them, to know yourself is one aspect. To not identify with it any longer is the other, because you also need to know whether you can see it or not. You need to believe whether you get that reinforcement from life or not, that you are light, you are divine feminine, you are this beautiful, eternal, infinite being playing this human character. And this is where it gets into that energy of the unknown. And the ego wants to doubt it, right? The ego wants to say, well, how do you know? How do you know? Huh? Can you really know? Well, maybe there is nothing after life, or maybe there's nothing after this experience. And so for you to believe yourself, and of course it helps to have, influences, people that are on similar paths. This podcast, so many other podcasts, so many other books, right? There's a lot of material out there now that confirms the same thing. And of course, to me, it's the complete reality, right? I know with all my being, with all my heart, with all my presence, because I live in that experience. But if there are still parts of you that doubt it, which is normal on the journey, it's normal to have these doubts come up. It's normal to have these parts of you jump in. And so for you to know that those are not who you are, those parts of you, those aspects, those patterns, those fears, those doubts, those worries, those judgments, right? None of it is who you are. And that's what you have to know. Yes, you know your conditioning. Yes, you know your patterning. It's conditioning. But you also have to know, much more importantly, who you really are. You have to hold on to in those moments when you're feeling defeated, in those moments when you're feeling overwhelmed, in those moments when you're questioning, in those moments when your ego has a really good case and it's just giving you all of the, well, it won't work, and this is why, and let's just be logical about this, and let's just make sense of it, and let's be smart, right? In those moments when your ego has such a strong case, those are the moments when you have to know yourself. And you have to have the ability to remind yourself that I am this light. I am this infinite being. I am this divine feminine playing human. I am this soul that has had incarnations for thousands and thousands of years, for millennia. You have to know who you really are. And it is a big practice and such an important practice for you to have enough wherewithal to remind yourself of that yes. No matter the emotions, no matter the triggers, no matter what seems to be the reality that's facing you, no matter the struggle, you have to hold on to your true self, you reminding yourself, you connecting to that, okay, even though I'm purging, I know I'm my light. Even though this challenge is coming my way, I know this is opportunity for me to grow more. Sometimes people say that this spiritual path, or even religious ways of relating or being, right? People often judge it as, oh yeah, because you can't deal with this being the only reality, or yeah, you need something to make yourself feel better, right? A lot of people that are only 3D judge this path as you need a little extra to make yourself feel better. Well, and it's a perspective, right? It's a perspective that makes them feel correct right? Because the ego always needs to be correct. And them only choosing to stay in the 3D and them only choosing to believe there's nothing else, that's their choice, right? But by them saying that and saying to you, oh, or somebody else on this path, oh, I'm so sorry. I feel for you. You need to make yourself feel better. You need to have a feeling of there's something else so you can handle this life, so you can deal with this reality. And you have to take all of this with such a grain of salt, right? You have to take all of this with such a higher wisdom, because in the end, and it's the truth, and I know it's the truth, is that this ascension path, this path of healing, this path of purging, this path of growth, this path of deepening into yourself is the hardest path. It is so not for the faint of heart. It is the most challenging yet most rewarding path that is possible on this plane, right? Because it does require such honesty with self. It does require such commitment to yourself. It does require sitting with the challenges and the discomforts and the purging as it comes up, versus quick fix, distractions, suppressing, and just focusing externally. And so, this is of course the divide that's going to continue to happen and is going to become more extreme. And so for you to remember always that you will have doubters and naysayers, give you the opportunity to not have to prove anything, to not have to defend anything, to not even have to respond to it, right? You don't have to play that game with anybody, but you have to be in that commitment with yourself, right? You have to be so in your self-support, right? That's one of the most important things about this journey as the world is going crazy, right? And I hear people, like, I love listening to 3D ways of thinking, right? And so some say, how can there be a God? How can there be a goddess to allow all of this craziness, all of this suffering, all of this torture, right? Another way of claiming the 3D, the victimization, the fear-mongering, right? The hierarchy. It is just the way that these egos have been conditioned for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so this is why, right? This is why, for you to understand that this is all still going to be a part of this earth plane. All of those realities are still going to be a part of this experience. And sometimes you'll have moments where you're wondering, are they right? Is it true? Is it? Am I just making all of this up? And all you have to do to come back into your answer, to come back into your clarity, is to close your eyes and come back into the breath, and to find your inner peace and to find your inner center and to find your inner connection to yourself, right? And to go into nature, take a walk, ground yourself, clear your mind, right? Clear your energy. And then remind yourself again of who you really are. Connect into your channeling, connect into your intuition, listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your truth, listen to your guidance. That is not your ego or your thoughts, but the truth of what resonates in this high frequency. As you are healing and as you are growing and as you are identifying the patterns and the ways that you are not wanting to indulge any longer, knowing that they come up for you to identify them, to recognize them, to say, ha, this is not my light. What is this? What is this energy? But as you're working with it or as it gets triggered, yes, this is when it looks like it's the reality. It feels like it's the truth. It feels like it's, you know, that same experience of pain or suffering or fear or betrayal, whatever it is, right? It just mimics that memory. It mimics that experience. And in those moments, remember the foundational mantra: breathe, feel, don't think, breathe, feel, don't think. You don't think into it. You never think into it, because in those moments, if you think into it, the thoughts will not only block the energies from purging, but the thoughts will then also deepen that into your biology, into your ego, into your memory bank of your subconscious, as that you're accepting it as your reality. You're accepting it as the truth. You're accepting it as what you are choosing to be real. So to not think into the purging, to not think into the trigger, to not choose to feed it and engage it and to give it validation, but for you to remember who you really are and use the breath. Your breath is going to connect you into your inner self. Your breath is what is going to connect you into the truth of you. Conscious breath, deep, slow. Move your body if you have to. And stay in your breath. Breathe and feel, don't think. And then from here, reminding yourself as much as you can that, hang on, this is not the truth. This is not who I am. I'm not this scarcity. I am not this poverty. I am not this victim. I am not this lacking. I am not this pleasing. I am not this needing and fishing for validation. I am not any of this. I am not this judgment. You're none of it. But it has to come up. It has to be purged. It has to be identified by you as the illusion. And you are the one in charge, and you are the one to make the choice. You are the one to say to yourself and remind yourself that it's not who I am. I am not going to feed it. I am not going to confirm it. But instead, what do? Focus onto the breath. Take yourself for a walk. Take a bath. Move your body and keep reminding yourself of the truth of you. Keep reminding yourself of that. No, I'm the light. I'm the beautiful, eternal, infinite being. And this is just the old conditioning, the old patterning, the old memory from all lifetimes coming up for me to release it, for me to say, thank you so much. You've served me, and now you don't serve me any longer. And you shift yourself into the focus of who you really are. And then from there, of course, as you move forward, you continue to work with yourself in terms of who are you now in the new version of you? Who are you now in the next level, on the next plateau, on the next up-leveled frequency, right? Who are you now? Thinking more clearly, identifying more precisely, focusing on your intuition, listening to your intuition, listening to your body, listening to your higher self, your truth, right? Continuing on from there with, okay, yes, so it's okay to trust myself. It's okay to allow for things to be more easeful. It's okay to not control everybody and everything, but to allow for this co-creation with my higher self and with the light to make things manifest now in my life in new ways. It's okay now for me to wait, to pause, to allow for this higher frequency that will set in. It will set in. I can guarantee you it'll set in once you've actively purged, you've reminded yourself of who you really are. And from here, now you get to also rewrite yourself, right? Because you, as the goddess in your uniqueness, we're not all the same, right? That's why there is no rule book. We're not all the same. You have to learn to rewrite yourself and your guidance and your path and your ways of thinking from your higher self and your ways of working with yourself, and keep coming back to the breath, because remember, all that memory is already within you. All this guidance is already within you. All this blueprint of your soul, of everything you've come here to be, is already within you. So it's not a mental concept. It cannot be a mental concept. You have to rely on yourself, on your intuition, on your wisdom, on your guidance, on your knowing as to how to proceed forward, as to how to now be the evolved version of yourself, and to not react, but to smile it off, and to trust yourself so much, trust your higher self so much that you don't need or get validation or have things show up in a specific way, right? You are now allowing yourself to flow. You are now allowing yourself to trust. You are now allowing yourself to hold this frequency, to hold the newest elevation of yourself. And from here, hold it long enough. Stay in this trust, stay in this clarity, stay in this worth, this presence, this authority of yourself, so that this frequency then, of course, will bring forth the new doors of opportunities opening, new people that you meet, new experiences, new ideas, new downloads, new opportunities. You are opening the field of infinite possibilities for yourself more and more and more and more. Will it all manifest and happen all at once? Generally not. But again, we're all unique. We all have a different blueprint, and we all have different karma and old energies that still need to be purged. So remember to never compete, never compare to any other goddess. But for you to stick to the basics whenever you're not feeling your light self, Whenever you're not feeling your happiness, your joy, your lightness, right? This is then the, oh yeah, okay, old energy. Let's deal with it. Don't make it reality. None of this is true. It's just me releasing the illusion so that I can embody more of my light, right? You embody more of your light every time you do not confirm this as the truth of you. Breathe and feel. Wait it out. Do what you have to purge it, to release it, to clear it. And then as you've shed that layer, you've let that go, now you come back into the, okay, yes, holding steady, maintaining your breath connection to yourself is going to become more and more and more important. If you are still not yet breathing consciously all day long, then you have to make it happen. And this is what I did, right? Before I really stepped into my embodiment very consciously. I was born a clear cognizant, but I still had to clear so many energies. I still had to learn so many lessons so that I could embody more and more and more of my purpose, of my blueprint. And it was the breath, the breath, the breath, the breath. I was possessed with the commitment to my breath. I literally had sticker notes everywhere, all around my house at that time. This was like, 25 years ago. And I would change the colors of the sticker notes every 2-3 days because your subconscious washes over them. You've seen them and then you don't see them anymore. It's like people wearing jewelry and then they can't see it anymore, right? It just doesn't have the same effect. It only lasts for a few days. So for you to know that right now is a very crucial time. Right now is a very, very, very important time. And your breath is your anchor. Your breath is your naturally built-in tool that you can never forget. And it is through the use of your breath that you're opening into your soul. It is through the use of your breath that you're inviting in more up than in. Up, you're inviting up all of the old energies, all of the old things in you that are still not of your light. And they have to go, but they have to come up. The more you're breathing, the more you're staying opened in your energy, opened in your heart, open in your mind, open to your higher self, open to your grounding. Your breath is everything. When I'm working, when I'm doing one-on-one clients or groups, I am holding space just by the power of my breath. I clear the room just with my breath and my intention. I summon whatever is still within me that is not of my light just by sheer breath and intention. You want to get so good at breathing that nothing that is not of your light can get in, and all of it has to release, right? This is how important your breath is becoming. Sticker notes, write it on your hands. I had a client tattoo breathe. He was in his truck a lot. He was a worker guy, a contractor, and he would sit in the truck a lot. So he had a tattoo, breathe, on his hands. He would see it whenever he was driving. Not that I'm suggesting for you to get a tattoo that says breathe, but that's how important your breath is now and becoming. opening into yourself, self-awareness, knowing yourself more and more and more. As you're breathing and you're going deeper and deeper and deeper, you're also igniting more of your blueprint, more of your light, more of your intuition, more of your higher self communication. Use the breath. Make it your mission to find ways to remind yourself to breathe. It has never been more important than now moving forward. Your breath is your light. Your breath is your grounding. Your breath is your body communication. Your breath is your heart opening. Your breath is your feminine energy. Your breath is your opening into your higher self. Your conscious breath is the key. It is the naturally built-in tool that was given to you as your gift. We start life with an inhale. That's when the soul anchors into the body, when the baby takes its first breath. And we leave this incarnation with the exhale, the last breath, when the soul goes home. It's the breath that anchors us into this experience. And it's the breath that will deepen you and open you and illuminate you forevermore. Good. I hope I've drilled home the point. Now make it important. Don't just, forget about it. Leave it up to your body, because when you're not breathing, you're on autopilot. And those old patterns just take you over. Those triggers, those old ways just keep coming in, trying to awaken you to the fact that it's your choice. And when you're breathing, you're in front of it, able to make that choice, no problem. Choosing who you are, choosing your light, choosing your eternal, infinite joy and power. Good. Now I've got to get ready. I've got to have some birthday fun. Yay. Thank you so much for your presence, your energy, your love. Mwah. Love and light blessings to you and yours. Ciao. Bye now.